Hello and welcome to Hobby Vlog number 234. Now this week has been a disrupted week and I'll tell you all about that in a very short while. But first of all, let's get to the Reaper Challenge. I did manage to finish painting up the miniature that was voted for last week. That was the Harpy supervillain and I'll put a picture of that on the screen right now. Had a lot of fun painting that and yeah, managed to get it finished last night when I painted the rims. So yeah, just got right down to the wire, but I did finish it, so that's really cool. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, every week I am asking you to vote for what miniature I'm going to paint in the following week from the huge pile of unpainted Reaper miniatures that I have in a couple of drawers upstairs in the attic. So on screen right now is a list of 10 miniatures and they are also listed in the description with links to the Reaper website. So if you're not sure what one it looks like, you can click on that link, it will take you there and that will then mean that you can pick the miniature you like the look of the best. The one with the most votes from everyone that comments below with the name of the miniature they want me to paint is the one that I will paint next week. And this week I'm going to be painting up Poppy Cloverlocks, a halfling waitress, halfling beer wench, whatever you want to call her. Looks really cool, looking forward to painting that. So thank you to everyone that voted last week and thank you to you for voting this week. So anyway, this week I have had a disrupted week. Last weekend I was in a lot of pain. I did manage to get my video done out on Sunday and I did manage to film one clip on Sunday, but you'll hear in my voice it's very, very quiet. So Monday I was in hospital and I've got gout. Now as I stand here right now I'm a lot better. It's gone down a lot. They gave me some pills and I've changed my diet for this week and that's going to be what it's going to be like. I'm going to have to watch my diet a lot more closely and maybe if it flares up again I'll have to take these pills again. But it was agony and I was in agony for days and so yeah, really tough week. But I have managed to get a few things done and I've even finally this morning managed to get some hobbying done with Rosie, which is really good, and we're going to continue working together now on the stone table and obviously got the miniature painted and another couple of bits and pieces as well. But it has unfortunately been another quiet week. So I really hope that you enjoy the video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to vote and I'll see you again at the end. Alright, so the mini for this week is the Harpy supervillain. So let's have a quick look at that. And then, as normal, we'll put it into hot soapy water, give it a good scrub, and then glue it together and do a little bit of cleaning up. So that's pretty cool. So it's got a base, which, as you can see, will slot in there, in that slotter base. So that's pretty cool. And then the Harpy actually mounts on the back. That's really cool. Thank you ever so much to everyone that voted for that one. That looks like a lot of fun. Right, I'm going to get that scrubbed and washed, cleaned up and primed, and I'll show what it looks like when it's ready to paint. Well, I've managed to get most of the modelling compound on, as you can see. I've just left the top like I suggested I would. And I've just been playing around with this a little bit and I've actually done a little bit of carving. And I think that just carving that bottom off there, changing a little bit of how I'm going to shape it, has made that stone table break look a lot better. I think I'm just going to do it like this. So it's going to be flat on one side and then one side will be broken off, and I think it looks really quite nice. So I'm currently considering how I'm going to go about painting this and actually getting the tone table done when it's glued in, because at the moment it's not very easy for me to show you with the camera, but that's not really going to work. If I glue it down now, I'm going to have a lot of trouble trying to get in here and painting here. So this gives you a clue as to what my thoughts are. What I might do is glue this part down and or maybe even glue that part back on there and either paint these completely separately now, get these working completely separately now, and then glue one side down, do all of the and do the texture around it, and then set this one on top, which might be quite a nice way of doing it. Or maybe even glue these two to something else, bit of cardboard, bit of paper that I can then texture and then can stick in place on top, and then build the rest of the modelling compound up. So I'm going to on and off about that for a little bit, but yeah, at least I've made some progress on this. I think probably whatever I do, I'm going to glue these this in here to make this into one piece, just like basically undoing slightly how I did the split, but that's fine, it's all good. You live and learn. And so that will at least give me two pieces again to work with, and then maybe I can texture this separately. I think that's where I'm leaning towards. Texture these separately, get these done, glue them in place, and then work around them with the rest of the texture that I'm going to do on the hillside. So yeah, I'll bring you back when I've made a decision and when I'm working on the next step. I'm not sure how well this is coming out because it's a really lovely bright sunny day, and that's causing my contrast on my videoing to be a bit difficult. But anyway, I've got that assembled and primed, and I'm about to go down and start painting it. Pretty pleased with how easily that went together. It wasn't very difficult at all, and I'm really excited to actually get some paint on her. So yeah, I'm not going to waste any time now. Next time you see this, should be done, and yeah, let's get painting. Well, it was actually last week that I finished this, and I completely forgot to record a clip, but I had a really awesome painting session with my friend Tim. Really look forward to them when we managed to get them done, and in that I managed to complete the wash and the painting of everything on this. So that included the skin and the red things on his forehead. Now I do realise I still need to paint the eyes, so I'm going to have to take that back downstairs and get that painted, but it's very, very, very close to being done. So what I'm going to do now is start to think about how I'm going to do the base, which I really have no idea. So I will be getting onto the internet, I'm looking for some pictures of people that may have done them already, and get that done. But I'm pretty pleased with how that's looking actually. I'm really happy with this one. I've got a second one that is in progress down there as well, which is purple, which I also worked on last time I did a painting session with Tim, and got that pretty close as well. So the two more are getting close. They're just going to need to be wrapped up, as I said, with the eyes, and then work on the bases. I will probably film working on the second base I do. So probably the first one I'll work on, and I'll just work out how I am going to do it. I'll learn, and then for my second one I'll bring you along. But anyway, just thought it's been a long time since I've updated this project, but it is still ticking along in the background. This is going to take a couple of goes, but I thought I'd just bring you along for the first stage. And what I've done is I've mixed up some PVA glue here into my black house paint, because black house paint on its own is not going to seal it enough, and I'm just going to put several coats over both of these parts, just to make sure it's completely and utterly black. I was thinking about putting some texture in this, and I may still, but I'm going to do this black undercoat with no texture at all at first. So yeah, just so that it doesn't stick to the table, I'm going to do the top and then the bottom. So it will take a couple of coats just for that, and also one coat is not going to be enough to cover all of the blue. If you do one coat, it will look like it's covered it, and then when you come back to it when it's dried, there'll be some that will be shown through. So yes, I'm just going to paint that on there and do the other one. Stick that in the fridge with a bit of cling film, or saran wrap, is it that you call it in America, and then it won't dry in the time. This will dry out in the open, and I can come back and do a second coat a bit later on today, and hopefully by the end of today this will be all painted black, and then I can start thinking about dry brushing on the grey, which is going to be the next step, because as soon as this is done, I might even get Rosie to help me with the dry brushing of the grey. So as soon as this black painting's done, I can get Rosie involved in this project, which is something I'm working towards doing. So anyway, enough nattering, enough muttering. I'll bring you back for the next step, which, when it's done, which will be once all this black is completely and utterly dried and there's no blue showing up anywhere. So yeah, it's a bit messy as well. Yeah. Also, it's quite a lot of fun to paint. And now we're ready for the traditional basing, which is the same as I always do. So we're going to use the base ready stuff. I'm going to put Mediterranean on this, I think. I was briefly thinking about a different style of base, but I think this is going to look nice, so I'm just going to stick with the standard. So I won't film it all because this is the same every week, but a little bit of basing glue. The problem with this is it often doesn't want to come out. Right, so this is why we have a try and get all of the stuck glue out of it. Now there we are, good stuff. Right, so we get some basing glue on the bottom, like so. Use the, if you need to use a toothpick to brush it around, use a toothpick, because if you use a paintbrush, as I always say, you will be throwing that paintbrush away. And then you can just dip it in. You can either dip it in or you can sprinkle it on. But for this one I'm going to dip it in. And there we are. We have our basting done. It's as quick as that. So I'll let that dry and then I'll paint the rims and then we'll be finished up. Alright, so I've got Rosie with me and we're going to do some dry brushing on our stone table. So you take some of your paint off and then you come along and you just paint like that. You just do it very gently, yeah? Very gently. So can you do that? Go on then. Like this. Yeah? Like you're brushing. Go ahead. Now let me have it. Like this. Yeah? Yeah? Right, so we get a little bit more. Oops. Take most of it off. That's it. And now brush. And there we are. Very good. You can do all of it, all the way around it. That's it. Right, no, you don't need more paint. I don't need to take more paint. You have plenty on. So do the sides there. You don't need to do the bottom. The bottom will be glued down. Just do the sides. Do the sides. That's it. And this side.
I did that was so.
And this side. That's it. Right, so now we'll do the other one. That's done enough. So now we'll do that. You've got plenty of paint. You don't need more paint. Brush. And if you need more paint, get it off of there. So like this. There we are. Now, go. That's it. Very good. So there we are. And we'll let that dry and then we'll come back a bit later today and we'll do the lighter grey, okay? Take most of it off, remember. That's it. Very good. Yeah, that's because you're dry brushing, love. It actually is. So if you look at it in here, you can see how that's lighter and that's darker. Watch. So you put it on, and then you wait a second, and it lightens while you watch almost. Can you see?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what you do is on this side, if you watch how I do this, and then do it like that. Can you see that it's now no longer black?
Yeah.
Remember that this isn't the only colour that we're going to dry brush on here. We are going to put a lighter grey as well. This is just bringing some of it up, to some of the black away. And now that is done. Look, doesn't that look good?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, right, so we'll come back later and we'll do the lighter grey. But for now, that's done. So there you are, as I say, a less productive week than I aimed for. I do have more time for hobbying now, a little bit more time. But yeah, when I was completely and utterly bedridden and going to bed every night at 8 o'clock and just in agony for days, obviously I wasn't able to do as much as I wanted to. But hopefully this coming week my foot will be okay and I'll be able to get a little bit more done and I'll be able to hobby with Rosie a little bit more. And I realised in the intro I was stood in front of my sign. I turned it on and then stood here and you couldn't see it. But I have got it on. I always turn it on for all of my intros now and it makes me smile because that was my Christmas present from Rosie this year. Anyway, don't forget to pop your vote down below. The list will be on screen now and the list is also in the description. Do leave a comment and vote for your miniature, and thank you ever so much for watching. And I'll wrap up by saying, as I always do at the end of all my vlogs, if any of you out there are impacted directly or indirectly by the horrific war in Ukraine, then my thoughts do go out to you and anyone you know who may be in that horrible situation. Can't believe that's still going on, and the Israel situation as well. And to everyone, please do stay healthy, as I failed to this week. Stay well, stay healthy. Can't remember what I say. You know what it is. I'll see you next week.